What if the only thing standing between you and success is someone else's opinion? History is full of people who were told they weren't good enough, smart enough, or talented enough. And yet, they succeeded. Today, we're diving into 15 powerful true stories of people who were doubted, rejected, and underestimated, but kept going anyway and became legends. 1. Oprah Winfrey. Turn your wounds into wisdom. Oprah was told she was unfit for television. Early in her career, she was fired from a news anchor job because she was considered too emotional. But what others saw as weakness, she turned into strength. Her authenticity became her power. She didn't just succeed, she built one of the most influential media empires in history. Sometimes what makes you different is exactly what makes you unstoppable. 2. Ed Sheeran. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, then it's not the end. As a child, Ed Sheeran struggled with a speech impediment. He didn't fit the typical image of a pop star, and many doubted he would ever make it. But he kept writing songs, kept performing, kept improving. Years later, he became one of the biggest artists in the world, proving that talent and persistence matter more than appearance. 3. J.K. Rowling. Success is not about avoiding failure, it's about never giving up. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, Rowling was a single mother living on welfare. Her manuscript was rejected by multiple publishers, over and over again. But she didn't stop. One small publisher finally gave her a chance. That chance turned into a story that inspired millions. Rejection doesn't mean no. Sometimes it just means not yet. 4. Michael Jordan. Obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it. Michael Jordan didn't make his high school basketball team. Imagine being told you're not good enough for something you love. Instead of quitting, he trained harder than ever. He turned that rejection into fuel and became one of the greatest athletes of all time. Failure isn't the end, it's the beginning, if you let it be. 5. Walt Disney. If you can dream it, you can do it. Walt Disney was once fired from a newspaper job for lacking imagination. That same man would go on to create one of the most imaginative worlds ever built. He faced bankruptcy, failures, and countless setbacks, but he kept dreaming. And eventually, he turned those dreams into reality. 6. Lady Gaga. Do not allow people to dim your shine because they are blinded. Before fame, Lady Gaga was dropped by her record label. Many didn't understand her style, her voice, or her vision, but she stayed true to herself. She didn't try to fit in, she stood out, and that boldness turned her into a global icon. 7. Steve Jobs. You usually go through a period where everybody tells you that you've completely failed. Steve Jobs was fired from the company he co-founded. Imagine building something from nothing and then being pushed out. But instead of giving up, he started over. Years later, he returned and transformed the company into one of the most powerful in the world. Sometimes losing everything is what pushes you to become everything. 8. Albert Einstein. Never give up on what you really want to do. The person with big dreams is more powerful than the one with all the facts. As a child, Einstein struggled to speak fluently. Some teachers believed he wasn't particularly bright, but he saw the world differently. And that different way of thinking led to discoveries that changed science forever. Never let others define your intelligence. 9. Stephen King. When you find something at which you have talent, you do that thing, whatever it is, until your fingers bleed or your eyes pop out of your head. Stephen King's first book was rejected dozens of times. He was so discouraged he threw the manuscript in the trash, but his wife pulled it out and encouraged him to keep going. That book, Carrie, became his breakthrough. Sometimes success is just one more try away. 10. Jim Carrey. The only limits you have are the limits you believe. Jim Carrey grew up in poverty. At one point, his family lived in a van. Carrey often shares that his father was a talented musician who gave up his dreams for a safe accounting job, only to lose that job later, forcing the family into poverty. He struggled for years doing stand-up comedy, often bombing on stage, but he believed in himself so strongly that he once wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered. Years later, he earned exactly that amount. Belief can shape reality. 11th, Katy Perry. Never take no for an answer and really believed in myself. Katy Perry was dropped by multiple record labels. She faced constant rejection and uncertainty, but she kept going, kept creating, kept believing. Eventually, she broke through and became one of the most successful artists in music history. 12. Elon Musk. If something is important enough, even if the odds are against you, you should still do it. Elon Musk faced repeated failures, rockets exploding, businesses nearly collapsing. At one point, he was on the edge of losing everything. But he kept pushing forward, learning from every failure, and those risks turned into groundbreaking companies that changed entire industries. 13. Sylvester Stallone. I stopped thinking the way other people think a long time ago. You gotta think like you think. Before Rocky, Stallone was broke. So broke, he had to sell his dog just to survive. He wrote the script for Rocky and refused to sell it unless he could star in it. Studios said no, again and again. But he didn't back down. That film won Oscars and changed his life forever. 14. Keanu Reeves. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. Keanu faced personal tragedy, career setbacks, and periods where Hollywood overlooked him, but he stayed humble, grounded, and dedicated to his craft. Eventually, he became one of the most beloved actors in the world, not just for his talent, but for who he is. 15. Harrison Ford. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Before fame, Harrison Ford struggled to find acting work and was told he didn't have what it takes. To support his family, he worked as a carpenter, building furniture while auditions led nowhere. But he didn't give up. A chance connection eventually led to an audition for Star Wars, and he landed the role of Han Solo. That role changed everything. From struggling carpenter to global superstar, his story proves it's never too late for your breakthrough. All of these stories carry the same truth. People will doubt you. Some will laugh at your dreams. Others will tell you to be realistic, to play it safe, to give up. But every person you just heard about stood at that same crossroads and chose to keep going. They didn't have guarantees. They didn't have certainty. They just had belief and the courage to continue. So if you're struggling right now, if things aren't working yet, that doesn't mean you failed. It means you're still in the story. The next chapter could change everything. Keep going, keep building, keep believing. Because one day your story might be the one that inspires someone else. To never give up. Which story inspired you the most? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more real stories that fuel your ambition.